Welcome to day number 4. Welcome to day number 7.
Day number 12.
Welcome to Do It Heartily.
Why else should you listen to wise people? Number 2 is this, is that they have a refreshing supply of wisdom, okay? So if you look, if we think back about our verse, it says the words of a man's mouth are deep water, a gushing torrent, okay? Gushing torrent. Now, a lot of the translations, several of them will say something like a bubbling brook, okay? And when I think of a bubbling brook, the image that comes to my mind is like a slow, easy flowing, just kind of mountain stream, kind of just bubbling over rocks and just nice and steady and just peaceful. That is not what this word is, okay? This word, it's 2 Hebrew words. One of them is the word torrent, okay, which will be translated brook a lot of the time. The word torrent there is a Hebrew word that means a strong, fast-moving flow of water. And the second word, gushing, is not just to flow. It is to gush out, to just spew out. And normally in this part of the world here in Israel, Middle East, Egypt, they would have these wadis, which are like a dry riverbed. And in the dry season, it would be pretty dry. And then once the rains started to come, water would come down off the mountains, and they would just flood these areas. These riverbeds would be, within a matter of weeks and months, they would just be surging, all right, and almost overflowing, and water would just everywhere. And that's kind of the idea here of what this is. This is not just an easy flowing little river, okay? This is something that is torrential, all right? It is moving fast, it's moving strong, and it is gushing forth. And so normally these types of flows of water would not last too awful long, all right? They would last a couple months, and then they would dry up again. Last a couple weeks, they'd dry up again. In my yard, okay, just a smaller scale example, when it rains really hard, I will have a running river that goes through my yard, and it comes really quick, and then it goes away really quick, okay? And that's kind of the idea here. It's just a really quick, just fast, gushing, spewing water, and it's fast and it's strong, and it's not just a peaceful flowing stream, okay? That's why I like this translation, because it actually uses gushing torrent, which is exactly what those words mean. And, so I kind of thought about this place. I'll put this up here. This is Hebron Falls, near Blowing Rock here in the mountains. And, this picture definitely does not do justice to this place. This is a place, I've got several pictures of it. No picture does justice to this place. No single picture does. And so this is, the picture you're seeing is kind of at the top of, you're in the mountains, and there's this river that flows, and then it kind of goes down, and it flattens out. Well, this down section is where all these boulders are. And I'm kind of where I'm standing kind of at the top of this, looking down at all these boulders. And the teenagers, whoa, my ring right there. Sorry. Anyway, I went there in college. It's one of my favorite places to go. But these boulders are huge. And here's another picture. This is, if you look real close, I put a circle around him. That's West Mincy a couple of years ago when we went. And I think a couple teenagers went not too long ago. And so they went and enjoyed it by themselves, which is really, really cool to me for you guys to go do that. But look how small West looks, okay? How tall is West Mincy? 6 foot? Close to that? Not quite? Something? You can't even barely see him because of how big those rocks are. So this place, and it's huge. And this next picture here is another one that was taken. And you can kind of see the water. It's flowing through. It's fast. It's super fast. You got to be really careful depending on when you go, because if there's been a lot of rain there, that water is moving and those rocks are slick. You got to be careful. And but you kind of see the water just kind of coming through there. It's just boom, boom, boom. This is the final picture I'll show you. All right, this is a picture of me when I was in college. We got up under one of these little waterfalls, and that's actually more of a calmer one. It's just kind of coming over you. It's not so much like a pew type of little cascade there, but we were in that. But it was just like, no matter where you go here, water is coming out of everywhere, and it's coming fast. And to hike to this place, it's over a mile a hike to get down there to it. But you hike and you get down to them, it's hot, and you're sweating, and you've been up and down and all this stuff. And as you get closer to these, the hike gets harder. You're wore out, you're sweating, and then you get into some water like this. This is refreshing. And this is kind of, what I think Solomon had in mind, is that this is a gushing torrent, just, and it's refreshing. Those desert dry places that receive water is refreshing. And that's the way the wise person's words are. Refreshing. Man, you're burnt out in life. You're thirsty in life. And you speak to a person like this, and what do? It's like out of nowhere comes this refreshment of wisdom and counsel and advice, and just, it's refreshing. And there are people that you can go to, you should be able to go to, that can speak to you this way. I've got another guy. He's actually my age. He's a friend of mine in the ministry, and there's a couple guys I like to keep in touch with. And this particular guy, I don't want to say his name either, just because, but some of you may know him. And he's a guy that I can go to anytime, and he has a very unique way of encouraging me. And I've never spoken to him and him be discouraging to me. Every time I speak to him, it's refreshing. He's a person that thinks and speaks biblically. And so sometimes if there's some advice that I need, he's going to give me biblical, wise counsel. If there is encouragement that I need, he's going to give me wise, biblical encouragement. And we try to sharpen one another that way. And so, this is just a great friend to me in the ministry. And, but he kind of reminds me of this, all right? His wise words are like a gushing torrent for me. They're refreshing, all right? And so again, hopefully you've got people like this, all right? Remember, you need to find wise people, listen to them, and think about what they say.